So, greetings, mortals, and I haven't shared. That's fine. I'm live.
Yeah, right on time. 10:32. That is definitely the start time that this stream is supposed to have. My insomnia is acting up a little bit. It's at about a 2 out of 10. So this is what a 2 out of 10 looks like. I'm a little concerned. I usually really struggle to do a regular schedule. But it's been like a little rough with my insomnia the last, since I got back from Japan, honestly. But it's like the opposite of what happened. Well, no, because so we're starting up a bit late, just because my phone died. So, my alarm went off at 6:30. And my phone died probably around 8 o'clock. But I was asleep when it died, so it didn't wake me up. Now, admittedly, did I have an alarm set? No, I didn't have another alarm set until 9 o'clock, which conveniently is when I woke up anyway without the alarm waking me up. But I'm going to blame the fact that the alarm didn't go off, even though I woke up at 9:02. At any rate, there's been an update to some stats sheet. I don't know. The regen change was reverted, it looks like. So I'm curious to see actually what it looks like when we're back to the values that we had before. Honestly, because I do feel like my party has been getting overall like stronger and stronger as time passes. The primary concern that I have is just the fact that so much of that is tied up to just the lifesteal, right? Where it's like, okay, well, as I get tanky enough, my lifesteal is more valuable, because like we have fewer edge cases. So I'm curious to see if we, let's see here. Yeah, if you look at it, our lifesteal is so potent now that we can kind of just ignore the venom effect. Even if we have to take a couple of delays. Though, so, let's think about this. So we now have just so much more regen. I did not realize just how huge... It makes sense. It is expected that it's as huge a difference as I feel like it is. But, so... just checking the numbers just now... Where the fuck are you? Oh, okay. When I was checking the numbers just now, Severia has 143.9 HP regen now. So... I don't know if the change has been changed not to the exact same values that it was at before, or if it's been changed to a higher value or something. But these characters have all had their HP regen doubled as well. So just from the regen spell. And I'm curious how much of that... I'm curious if they've reverted the change to the exact same values, or if they changed it to a different value. Because I now have a lot of regen on the other characters. So between the party's regen, we now have probably about 1,000 per second between everybody, which is pretty good. It probably compares to at least one character's healing throughput. The entire party's regen probably is about on par with the healing throughput of at least one character. Right? If we're talking about the lifesteal throughput, So that's, you know. But it also explains why it is that I felt so much weaker if this was the trajectory that I was on. Because I have like no object permanence, okay? Like I have no object permanence at all. So I'm really hopeful that when we get to the next area, it's dangerous. It's gonna be very funny if I can just kind of like easily kill that dragon, because it only does like 20,000 damage or something instead of doing 15,000, despite the fact that it's 100 levels higher. Because I actually don't know how the scaling factors work. So, we'll see. We'll see. We will see. Okay, so we've got is that everything cleared? I think that's everything in the zone cleared, actually. What time is it? It's 10:07. Well, that's a problem. I can't train at 10:07. And I really need to train because the next place that I'm going to is Dragon Sand. And I don't travel to go to Dragon Sand. Dragon Sand I teleport to from New Sorpigal. So... That's a concern. And I think the portal here is two-way. So we're gonna go through the portal in the dungeon here, and then we will see how things go from there. We will see how things go. I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what Thinger looks like. Okay. So we can teleport to and fro. That's good. We can now just teleport out of here because we don't need to be here anymore. Just teleport to the to the entrance, basically. And we have like no shot doing that thing. Let's go do this. The Druid quest will continuously just never be done. You know, just... It's a good thing I don't have complete all quests as one of the rules for my runs, you know? It would be a struggle. Let's see. Was it the east one? So we're going to put down the last of these things, and then we're going to do some inventory management. Boom. Okay, so we have enough EXP for 4 levels, which isn't really that much, honestly. And, God, we have so many days that we need to be in Dragon Sand.
I've been expecting you.
Okay. So, we're done with that. Doesn't look like we got any EXP. for turning that part in. So we can have about 900 body resist before we start needing to stack other resists some more. We have... Okay, what was it that I wanted to do with my inventory? I know there was something. I was having some sort of problems. I think what we're going to do first is we're going to go say hi to our dragons. And we're going to start depositing some of these artifacts that we have in our inventory. Just because we do not need to hang on to them. So let's... Is it... It's Jadame, right? Antagaric is the thing. I'm going to save this under test. I'm going to save this under... What is this supposed to call? Hermit. Done. Okay. Okay. I guess that means I need to figure out where they even are. So I can't stack Mekarig's hammer with another artifact boost, can I? I'm gonna check. Where's that shield? Oh, I cannot.
My pack's full.
It won't fit.
Shit, where did I put you? Alright, it's fine. So, let's give
Welcome.
some of this crap to our dragon. Do we only have one dragon? Alright, this is broadly useless. Don't need you, I don't think. Definitely don't need Mekarig's hammer. Okay. Anything else in your inventory? Governor's armor, definitely don't need. Ruler's ring I'm going to hold on to. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this shield as well. Don't think I need Glomenthal.
Oh.
Splitter I'm going to hold on to because it does have the immunity. Wyrm Spitter is not going to do enough damage to justify its existence. Terminus gives plus 21 Arms Master skill. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see.
Welcome,
So we don't
adventurer.
have another dragon? I thought we... Didn't we recruit more dragons? Huh. That's fine, I guess. Alright, so what do I need to do for my actual inventory management? Let's see. I could test what this looks like. Okay, so plus 21 Arms Master isn't sufficient to make up for the of Darkness. So don't need to worry about that. We have these. I'm also going to check something. We're going to see what happens. Okay, that has not been fixed. Yeah, I have two legendaries that I don't need. I was thinking I'd give those to a different dragon though. So I need to remember where all the dragons are. How many of these do we have that are actually any good? We have at least 2 of these. So you are not upgrading more. I don't need to upgrade you. I'm tempted to upgrade this. Let's see. But why would I store things in chests when I could store them with a dragon? Because it's slightly less of a pain in the ass to do that, and the meme isn't worth it. I don't know. I'm not sure I buy that. Let's see. Let's see. All right. First, I need to think about what I actually want to do. Unfortunately, I'm trying to recall what I had in mind. This is interesting. 42 is not very high. This has not been upgraded. What is... My highest resist is barely air, so what is giving me mind resist? I have 145 mind resistance coming off of this poleaxe. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that was a very good thing to remind me of. I will probably make use of that because the bit is not worth it. This is not a legendary or anything. Honestly, I'm not super happy with my gearing situation. Even the characters that I feel like are more coherently geared don't have very well optimized gear. Like, this is not that interesting. Like this, I could have a ring that gives me both of these values of hit points in one ring, in one of affix. I don't need it on 2. So we have a lot of improvement that we can do here, which is good. So let's start by seeing if we can empty an inventory. I'm not going to go collect another dragon, and instead I'm going to go into the merchant house. And so the merchant house is similar to like Harmondale, is it? I didn't open this. Where it's just like a thing that doesn't respawn.
It appears to be locked.
Interesting. Okay, put in AGs. That's fair, actually. That's super fair. Okay, lucky hat.
Won't fit.
It's actually tempting to equip this. I'm gonna hold on to this. This has so much luck on it that I'm tempted to equip it at some point. It just drops my personality, which isn't relevant to the majority of my characters. So I will hold on to that artifact. The other thing that I think I'm going to do is I think I'm actually going to make all of my... Do we need Yoruba? We definitely don't need the last stage Cuirass, which is Lich only, right? It's not Lich only, but it's not useful to my interests. So this gives 300... This gives luck, so I think that I'd rather have the luck than equip Yoruba. It also has higher armor, so I think I'm going to stick with that one. So, next... Next on our agenda is...
No, there's no room.
It's actually funny because I barely recognize that I had this. I don't remember seeing this in my inventory for like weeks. And it's just because it's like just been sitting in my inventory for so long that my eyes don't even perceive it anymore. Okay, finality, don't need. We have a couple of spears that we can sell or whatever. This has some really good stats on it. This is very solid. It's probably still worse than anything that we have, but that's fine. Let's see. I'm going to hold on to this. And your inventory. Puck, Hell's Cleaver. This cutlass here, the legendary cutlass. Yeah, the captain's cutlass is the highest tier, I think.
Won't fit.
I'm fairly certain that I tagged that up as high as it could go. Hands of the Master. So Shriel does actually do a little bit more damage than this Dragon Harpoon of the Dragon. But we're not going to be able to justify continuing to equip that forever. Maybe I should hold on to it. The damage difference is going to keep escalating until I get a new weapon. So let's see. Anya Selving. That is a lot of accuracy. Mace of the Sun. Okay, yeah, I have confirmation it can't be upgraded any further. Archangel Wings. All magic resistances plus 30. Isn't that crazy?
It's sorry.
My pack's full.
No room.
Nobody has like a really, really garbage cloak, so we could just slap that in there. 238 speed is fairly good, but the of water magic does nothing. It does have 37 armor as well, and just that armor value makes it a little tempting. But I can do better. Okay, this is basically the same artifact. Let's see here. The other thing is that I'm going to need to get rid of all of these artifacts over time. I just realized they only scale up to 250. So, if they're only scaling up to 250, I'm going to hit a point where they just stop scaling and they just fall completely behind, right? They're just like going to do nothing. So
I have too much.
can't put that in there, and that's fine. So I think one of the things that I probably want to do is I'm going to open up our thing. What am I looking for? We're going to open up our drive. We got... I didn't title this spreadsheet. Oof, gross. All right, we're going to call this Ma Potion Use. So we still have to do an elemental resist on Severia at some point, but it's not critical that it happens anytime in the immediate future. And we can still do self-resist on Silveria, Ashcore, and Korgrick. I'm wondering if we want to do that, or if we want to make like a resilience potion or something like that. So, but the other thing that I'm thinking, and I think this is what I want to do, is I think I'm going to make... I'm going to make some of my potions right now that I'm only going to end up using later as I accumulate like reagents to do it with. I think that's how I want to do it. I think that's the easiest way. So we have 16 alchemy skill on this. I could actually improve that a bit, but I don't think that there's too much reason to. We have what we need here. So, what am I doing? I am going to start making potions. So, we need to make kind of just like a bunch of random potions because I don't actually know what the recipe is for the stat boosting potions. So, let's just make a blue and... how many yellow ingredients do we even have? Like, I feel like we don't have that many. It doesn't really this is a power 117, interestingly enough. So this is green. Let's add a blue to this. Regen potion becomes wisdom boost with purple. So let's go with wisdom boost. That seems like a reasonable lead-in to one of the things. So we need red. We can make them out of dragons.
Perfect mix.
Let's see.
Great, now we can use it.
So wisdom boost.
Perfect mix.
Pure power, pure wisdom, and pure resilience. So let's take a look here.
Great, now
Was that green and purple? Is that how I made that?
Great, now we can use it.
No, it's green and blue, I think. So green and blue. leads to wisdom boost. Excuse me. And then we add a purple to that. Okay. So we're keeping these ingredients as they are.
Perfect mix.
Green is with yellow.
Great, now we can use it.
Then blue again.
Great, now we can use it.
Okay, make 2 of these. So let's. I think I might have 3 things. I think maybe what I want to do is put wisdom, resilience, and power all onto Cortal as my first thing. The reason, by the way, that I'm not finishing these potions is because I have incredibly bad memory for this kind of stuff. So what I'm literally doing is I'm just making a bunch of the lower tier ones, and then I can just right click them and see what the ingredient list is. So we're going to do more of these. Is this yellow? Yes, it is.
Great, now we can use
Green. And we can get a
it.
blue.
Great, now we perfect mix.
So how many potions of this style are we going to need eventually? We need 1, 2, 3 times 5. So we need 15 of these total. So I think I'm actually just going to make all of them right now. I think that's how I want to handle this. We need to get more yellow ingredients. And I might end up making some of these using different patterns. And I might end up... oh, nice. We found all the yellows that we have. There we go. So we have a few
Perfect mix.
options for how to do all this nonsense.
Perfect mix.
Okay, so we have another regen potion.
Great, now we can use it. Perfect mix. Great, now we can use it.
This is 124. We're actually pretty close, honestly, to being able to just make a potion of the appropriate level without needing to go through the intermediary of
Great,
a
now we can use it.
catalyst. But I don't think I'm terribly likely to get to that point anytime soon, because of the fact that I'm not going to be probably finding a better alchemy item, and I'm going to find a better alchemy relic or artifact or whatever at one point when we get to the next area. But by the time we get to the next area, I'll probably be able to do most of these already. So though, I mean, we do have substantially stronger. It might not be sensible actually to make more than this, because I'm now realizing that no, once I get to the next area, the reagents are probably going to be so powerful that I might be able to just do it without even needing to upgrade my alchemy. So yeah, let's sit on this for now. We will start making some of our catalysts. This is 165. That's what we need.
Great, now we can
Mix it with this one. We now have a regeneration potion. I fucked that up. Hold off on that. God damn it. I'm tempted to reload for it, but I'm not going to. I needed to do that for the final ingredient. I don't know why I thought that these were the final thing. I do know why. It's because I created a bunch of half-created potions and then consequences happened. So we can now make
Great, now we can
this
perfect. Great, now we can
and give the pure power potion to Cortal. So let's take a look at this. So might and accuracy is really not. It's going to be plus 40 to each of these, I think. Yeah. So, not a huge boost, but, you know, plus 40 to all stats is going to be a fairly good boost once we make it happen. So, power is done. Let's make resilience next, because I think resilience is actually better. Berserker belt here. This gives high enough stats that I want to hold on to it for now. Now we are looking for these, but this is not a high enough level one. We're also looking for these, but I don't know that we have any more of these that are strong enough. Oh, one of these is good enough. We actually have two of these that are good enough. Just sitting here. That means that we can finish up Kortal, and Kortal will have all of the effects. And that will be quite useful for me. That's a big...
Great, now we can use it.
hurdle dealt with. So we've made that. What do we need to add to you? Purple. So...
perfect mix.
purple would be with red.
Great, now we can use it.
I know how colors work.
Perfect
Then
mix.
with this, we need a yellow. I guess it doesn't matter that
perfect
much,
mix.
but this is pure resilience.
Perfect mix.
Give that to you. And I'm going to start saving under danger because of the fact that I am changing my stats and I just want to have a secondary thing to look at, because my vitality and DPS and all that kind of stuff is going to be upgrading over time. And we need wisdom now. So we need to add a purple to this.
Perfect mix. Great, now we can use it. Great, now we can use
Okay.
it.
And from here, we add a blue.
Perfect mix.
Okay, we now have pure wisdom.
Great,
The Philosopher's
now we can
Stone of the
use-
appropriate
perfect
level.
mix.
We'll use that on Kortal. Now, Kortal should be finished with potions. That is my theory here, because we've added a 165 potion of each of these tiers. So, do I want to make... I think I'm going to make a resilience potion for everyone else. I think that's the next thing on my agenda.
Great, now we can use it.
Is this blue? Yeah, it
Great,
is.
now we can
Alright.
use it. Perfect
So
mix.
let's just
Great,
let's just
now we
actually
can use
mix these up, and I'll leave one of them behind so that I don't forget.
Great, now we can use perfect mix.
But we can
Perfect
burn
mix.
through a
Great,
ton
now
of
we
our
can-
ingredients.
perfect mix. Great, now we can use it. Great, perfect mix. Great, now we can use it.
Getting these all set up. So these are all now set up to become things. So I could actually just make 4 pure resiliences right now. And I think I might as well.
Perfect mix.
I'm going to make these into
Great,
pure
now we can
resilience.
Great.
I just
now we
realized
can
that
use
I completely shot the one that I
perfect
had
mix.
already gotten up to 160 by adding a bunch of garbage materials to it. But that's fine. It's fine. We'll get that up with catalysts. So we've got these 4. Those are all going to be resilience. They are already resilience potions, but we need to upgrade them before we can use them. And let's see. We're going to keep digging through my inventory, I think. I want to... I need to make 4 more resistance potions of various kinds. And I think that makes sense to emphasize. This is mash. Is there space for mash here? Maybe?
No space.
Yes. Phoenix Feather is for red potions. Okay. Charge Connector Stone for when we get to that portion of the quest. With Hades here. So we can make wisdom boosts out of this. I'm trying to remember. It was a Paladin's potion or something like that we were making, right? I think Power Boost might have also... Maybe not. I don't know offhand. Okay, we're going to sort through all this stuff. This is used for blue potions. Swiftness. Non-magic. So we can add a blue potion to this and make a thing that allows us to make of darkness gear. So that's something to keep in mind. We don't have access to one of our item slots for right now, unfortunately. One of our inventories is out of commission still. Let's see. Okay, I think we might be out of Philosopher's Stones. I think we probably don't have more than one hidden around in our inventory anywhere. So we'll be able to do these later. For now, I think what I want is... I think I should probably, I guess it's not late enough. I should probably go around and sell a bunch of stuff. And I should also go through all my rings again. So this of Mind Magic ring might eventually be best in slot, just for giving me access to this more powerful version of this effect. If I can get my mind magic high enough. The personality boost to the entire party isn't actually that important, honestly. I'm kind of surprised that mind is personality, actually. I would have expected mind to be intelligence. And, like, spirit to be... Like, air being speed, that checks out. Water being luck, sure, that makes sense, actually. Water is very stable, actually, so it makes a lot of sense because of the fact that luck translates into your resistances as well. Earth being endurance, that's a given. These are some... The associations with some of these are just surprising to me. Anyway, that's all beside the point. Fire. What would you do? What would you associate with fire? Honestly, I might associate fire with luck. Just because of the fact that it's very bursty with its like primary function being the crit chance. And water, I could definitely see water being personality for a lot of reasons, but it's very subjective, tied to like the things that you associate with the different things. It's like, to me, like water has a very distinct personality because of the fact that I've lived on the ocean, I've lived on lakes, I've lived by rivers. Like water is very different in different places, right? It has very different character depending on where you are. So I can easily associate that with personality, while at the same time, someone who doesn't have my particular lived experience, I could see being like water is the opposite of personality because it's just kind of stable and it just kind of sits there. Right? Like, and that's not exclusively true, right? But it is also very accurate. So, like, there's the simultaneous, like, oh yeah, water, it's got strong personality. And also water, it has basically no personality. And I think that both of those are accurate interpretations of water, depending on the context that we're referring to. Anyway, that all being said, what do we want to do with our inventory? Okay, so let's take a look at all of our stuff. Who needs the most help? This is a very solid ring, except for the fact that it's very low level. If I had a bunch of crafting cubes to pump up that secondary effect on this would be really, really good. But that would be a huge waste of crafting cubes that I need for other things. But also, this is one of the first primordial items that I ever found. So, I don't know. I have a very strong, like, association with it. Let's see. This is a ring that we put on just because of the fact that it had all all that personality. But, yeah, our gear definitely needs work. We need to figure out where our ring went, because I just realized that I took it off. And you have plus 12 body on this and a bunch of speed and luck. We have might and luck on this. I'm not sure how I feel about the 48 armor class on this. I don't feel bad enough about it that I'm going to purge it off. So I guess it's kind of irrelevant. Let's see. We have this. We have Zeus. Eventually we're going to need to transition off of Zeus and onto like proper plate armor. Let's take a look. Where is... Did I put any plate down somewhere? I don't know that I did, actually. Those are... So it's presumably still in my inventory somewhere. I had a non-artifact plate that I might at some point need. One issue, this has air resistance on it, which is a really big problem because of the fact that I just don't need air resist. So next on our agenda is, let's slap this in this inventory. I am wondering if we want to just equip Shariel for now. It's ostensibly higher DPS. I think that I want to maintain the effect there. It looks like dual wielding swords is probably better DPS for me right now. But it actually is a DPS loss when you remember that I'm going to be losing the physical resist drain. every hit, which is a big deal. So we're not going to switch off of those. We have Athena here, which we probably don't need. You know what? I'm actually tempted. I'm gonna check something out. Do we have enough points to do what I would want to do to check this? No, we do not. We have enough ascension for this to be ascended. Cure Disease is currently not ascended at all. So that's interesting. So a non-ascended Cure Disease is healing for 867. That's interesting. If I were to slap you on instead, 973 for a difference of about 270, because we're taking off about 30 personality and replacing it with. So it's not a non-existent difference in healing throughput. Do we have the ability to make this character functional as a combat healer without leveling up? I think the answer to that is no. Do we have the ability to do it with leveling up? Maybe. Though, also, that is without a body item. One of the things that we have had that's very rough for us, and I'm a little bit concerned about, we haven't found the rings that give us the boost to the self magics and the elemental. Those artifacts, we have not found either of those artifacts. Now, we have a guaranteed copy once we've finished Might and Magic 6. So there is that. We have a guaranteed copy of each of those when we finish Might and Magic 6. Have a guaranteed copy of a ring that gives us a similar effect for light and dark magic, which we can just slap onto Silria, and then we don't have to swap our helm out in and out anymore. So those slots are going to be very important slots eventually. But we'll see. So I think I should... Body resistance. I've actually found a lot of things that give boosts to random skills. That are, in theory, going to be useful eventually. I'm wondering if I want to start stacking those kinds of things onto you. Rather than going with, like, because we don't even have stuff that's all 7 statistics. We don't have that great of boosts on most of our gear right now. So if I could get a couple of pieces that are fairly good durability, this is a good start. Like, this is a very good start for us. This gives us endurance, it gives us speed. We have this, which gives 33 to all stats. We have the boost to all stats that we just got. Also, speaking of which, have I been saving under danger this whole time? I should be, right? So let's go load the test save before danger. And we have 24k versus 25. So that's about that's a pretty decent upgrade, honestly, in our resilience for fairly minor investment. Like, it's not huge. Actually, the difference in our damage is really big. So 9,700 going to 10,958. Did I change out some of my gear or something? Or is that just from having that boost to all my stats? Huh. I mean, it makes a degree of sense, considering that we just increased all of our stats by 40, right? Like, increasing all of our stats by 40 is pretty significant, because that's increasing crit damage, increasing base damage, and increasing attack speed. So, like, there's a lot of things that are being assembled together in that. So, boosting our base stats is probably going to be pretty effective. Especially, the other thing to bear in mind is that because everyone's insane, they are also getting a multiplier on their might and their speed. And I think they're also getting a negative multiplier on their accuracy, but that's probably fine. Let's see. What am I doing? All right, let's find out what things we want to be upgrading. Hey, Laura Set. We're gonna... So this isn't even a legendary. So you have this, which I don't need to upgrade this legendary because I'm not super happy with the stats on it. What do we want? This is what we had equipped, I believe. So this shouldn't be the item that I'm comparing things to. Which... this is the ring that I should be comparing things to. Because the body magic one I'm going to probably keep equipped because of nebulous effects from increasing our blood. It's not going to affect the life leech or anything like that, but we are using the blood leech effect. So how much of a difference does this make? I'm actually tempted to switch to Death Grasp again. But these are spells, right? So this impairs the enemies. I feel like I might want to do this. I'm gonna stick to Death Grasp, honestly. Unfortunately, I don't know that I scale that much with this other stuff. So I might not need to worry about it. But 252, if I take this off. Oh, interesting. So this is a set value, it looks like. It's not tied to your actual skill at all. So I don't actually need to worry about increasing body skill at all for this character. Body skill isn't relevant unless I'm using their actual spells. That's good to know, actually. So this ring can probably just go over to you. And we can worry about how we want to use that later. We have body magic plus 15 with might and luck. We have an int thing. I think what I'm going to start doing... I was using Greater Life Leech. Was I looking at normal Life Leech? I was looking at Blood Leech. Okay, this is 505. I think I was actually using the other version. I don't think I was using the correct version in the first place. This also says it just is 505. 505 lifesteal is pretty good. I'm gonna stick to that. Let's see here. I wonder if that scales with. Probably not, right? Let's see. Might, personality, and mana regen. I could slap that on you potentially. We have the air resistance and the plus $30 stats on this one. It's not a thinger, but I honestly think, even though this isn't a legendary, yeah, I don't know how they're calculated either. They might be based off of my level. I have no idea. Do I want to just pump my air resistance on this item? Because each character should have a resistance item associated with whatever resistance I'm planning on giving them. I think the answer is yes. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I might not go all the way up to the reds with it, but I might end up doing it. I'm not going to go that crazy with it, but I'm going to go high enough to have a pretty significant impact on it. Let's see. I'm going to start just moving a bunch of these over. Just because I can. It's very funny that this is not even... And personality doesn't even affect this character. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. That's fine. So let's save it up. So air resistance. And there's nothing special about this one, so we can just look. This gives us a maximum of 45, so we should be able to do both of these. Get that up to 45. And then what is this? We need the 75 item, right? What does the 75 item look like? This is the 75 item. So we can get this up to 56. Using these. Perfect. Okay, and then we can... Do we want to use the 90s? I honestly don't have that many crafting rubies. I don't think I'm going to use those. This is now up to 112 bonus resist, and I think that that's a good start. We'll sit on that for this moment. For right now, let's just hold off on changing anything else with this item. We have a body magic item that I should have equipped. We have an intelligent luck, $35 stats. This is honestly fairly good if I end up needing to do healing in a significant way. This is fine or whatever. But let's see. Is there anything that I can move? What is my weakest link item? I think this is my weakest link item, right? Yes. So this is on the chopping block. So let's find an item in our inventory. This gives plus 13 spirit, which is interesting, but it does also have body resist. It would be kind of nice to get a spirit item going, a spirit resist item, if I can get an item that has that as an option. Plus 15 earth magic skill would get me a considerable amount of extra endurance for everybody when I don't have Day of the Gods active. But Day of the Gods excuse me. Day of the Gods is currently double stacking, so I don't think that this is going to be relevant right now. It'll be relevant eventually when I have an item that increases my elemental effects by 50%. Which I think is a necklace, unfortunately. This character's stats are going to plummet when we actually get access to all of our artifacts. We're going to need to have really good secondary, like all of our gear that isn't the rings and necklaces and stuff is going to need to be on point. So we have access to this. This has the absolute worst combination of resistances that we could have, basically. This gives a little bit of boost to power, a little bit of reduction in our other stats. This is just a boost to vitality. But it gives us dark magic, which is not a thing that we need. This gives air magic and air resist, which is useful. Also gives us some armor. We have you. I'd really like to get something with spirit boost. Because I want to see if I can start getting some more healing throughput out of this character. And this item I'm going to slap into your inventory because you're the person who might get the most value out of it, potentially. Let's see, rings. Let's go ahead and organize this. We actually do have more of these crafting rubies than I thought, but I'm still going to hold off on using them on a non-legendary ring because I have a lot of gear that will potentially need to be upgraded. So earth resistance, this is air resistance. Int and might. Int, might, and speed right now. So this gives personality and luck and earth magic. If this didn't have body resistance, I could see it being fairly useful. It's a sizable reduction in our durability to equip that. Let's take a look at the other characters, see what rings they have. This is the Ring of Fusion. This is body, this is mind. We're not sitting... I don't think we ever really found that much in terms of, like, spirit gear. I'm going to go ahead and equip this for now. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to check this one. All resists. All stats and into endurance. Okay, next. Earth and int. The other thing that I should probably do is I should actually start consolidating all these rings together into just like a couple of inventories. So I'm going to slap all of these into... I don't need to slap all of them, I just need to slap the ones that are any good, but that's fine. We don't have access to stores right now anyway. So... I could just like throw some of this stuff on the ground, honestly. Let's see. Don't need those two. I'm gonna get these out of the inventory. We're gonna leave this in the inventory, get this out of the inventory. Don't need this. Alright, so... Now, more ring action. Yeah, I think I'm just going to toss all of the ones that are... This is not relevant. This needs to stay in this inventory just because this is the inventory with the alchemy, and it's an alchemy item. It's not a real... It's not a real ring. This ring isn't even real. And... Okay. Oops, that's the wrong thing to do. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't do very much inventory management over the course of 100 years. You end up with situations. All right, what is your weakest item? Is it the one that I'm currently checking against? I would say probably. If something doesn't compare favorably against the one that I've got there, then it doesn't compare favorably against anything. I don't need both might and personality. It's a waste to have might on a piece of gear because personality is the thing that gives me... I basically get 75% of the personality as both int and might. So it's like a real waste to put that stat onto a thing directly. The might should come for free, basically. Okay. Right, I was checking these for some reason. I'm not going to worry about that. I should be worrying about it. Alright, let's slap you in, slap you in, slap you in. And in. Okay. So, next, you. It would be my presumption that I don't have a really great spirit item. Because if I did,
It won't fit.
I feel like I would have already equipped it. So there is that. There is that element to the whole thing.
Sorry.
Alright. So, we have this item. This could give us a spirit boost. And our durability on this character isn't actually that bad. We are fairly tanky on this character, more so than you'd think just by looking at them. Just because of the massive benefit that we get from air magic. This reduces all damage by 32%, which is water reducing. So 457. Water, irrelevant, right? Like that's, we're getting hit for 10,000 damage. It's not, okay, it's not irrelevant. That's actually still okay. Like we're still losing maybe somewhere probably between 5 and 20% of the average hit. Because we do have a lot of percentage resistance on Quartal, so the water is actually a bigger effect than you'd think. But it's not like the crazy, like, halving damage or anything like that. Air is definitely resisting more than water is at this point. But the more we pump our mitigation on this character, the more valuable the water is going to be. So that's just an important thing to bear in mind. We can get this out, this. Do we need all of these? In terms of itemization, air resistance and intellect isn't terrible, but the $13 resistance isn't high enough probably to justify like devoting a slot to it. This is a fairly good belt. Let me take a look at it again. Where's this belt that I just was looking at? I don't think this is going to be an upgrade for you. It's not. We lose a ton of might off of that trade. So this is a slight boost to durability, weirdly. Interesting. So this is very, very low level. I could actually use some crafting cubes to start getting this up to par. Get the resistance and the armor up. Given who it's on, it's probably not worth it, but it's something to consider. Okay, so rings. We gotta have something here. Do we seriously? No, I'm still looking for the spirit item. Like fire resistance, intellect, and who's the person who was fire associated? I guess fire. I was stacking on ash core. Let's see here. So, for those wondering, in Baldur's Gate in particular, and just any situation where I have Ashcore hanging around with Arctole, the character, Arctole throws a lot of fireballs around, and so there's a heavy association of fire immunity or fire resistance at the very least from Ashcore, because the two characters are very closely interconnected with each other, and Ashcore keeps getting hit by fireballs. Exactly. Hey, Ash. It's important. It's important. I love how you come in to say something at that exact moment. Nice. I love doing house chores while I've got like a live stream on in the background. It's great. Do I have... So I can't upgrade this right correct. This gives 27 to all resistances, which isn't terrible. It gives water resistance. So I could hypothetically use something like this. I just lose a lot to the fact... You know what I should actually be doing? Because this has 20 to all stats. This is something that is going to have a much more clean upgrade to it. So I should be comparing things against this because it's just durability, so I don't have to like think about it as hard. Right? Oh no, it does give a little bit of luck. So that's fine though. I didn't notice the luck on the secondary effect. Yeah, we don't have any spirit boosts. Huh. Interesting. Let's check Ash's inventory. Do we have anything shiny here? Speed and personality isn't a bad combination for one of our characters, but I honestly do think that if we don't have Of the Gods or of Doom on a thing, we're going to struggle to replace anything with it. Just because those affixes are so good. And interesting, this is 5 charges. I think Yeah, I think we might not have what I'm looking for here. This gives air resistance and identify skill. Which is kind of interesting. What was that item? Okay, this gives plus a significant boost to just elemental resistances. So let's take a look at whether this is just a flat upgrade over what we've got. So let's do that. Body is now just barely too low to get the full benefit of the effect. So I think this is a good trade out for now. We have 26,840 resist or like overall durability now. That's fine. This gives spirit and a shit ton of int. I could actually upgrade this as well to give more spirit than it gives. Wait, no, because this is the third effect. It would be very expensive to upgrade that effect, I think. So it would drop a lot of vitality if I took it off of this one. Let's see. So this is flat out weaker than the Ring of the Plains for this character. I want to see, so if I do shared life, it does 100, okay, so it does 710 right now. If I were to replace you, I need to get a non-crit. 710 to 895? That's a big difference. Yeah, I think part of the reason that I'm struggling with my spellcasting is actually because I don't have like an artifact that I can just sit on for my spirit magic. Once I get a spirit magic artifact, I think I'm going to get a lot more value out of this. Okay, so I think this character is fine for now. Is it 11:45 already? Jeez, how long have I been live? Only an hour and a half because I started so late. Well, you know, that's that's how it goes. I'm probably should have renamed this stream to like inventory something or other. So this gives body resistance and HB. Body is the thing you're stacking, right? So let's take a look at this. This would be a very strong defensive item for this character, but I lose a lot of attack power. So potentially valuable under certain circumstances. Let's take a look. It does look like we can't upgrade the other. We're not getting nearly as much vitality out of this as we hypothetically could if we had more resists generally. So that's something to bear in mind. If we get our overall resists a little bit higher on this character, we can get a lot of durability out of this. And we would lose a lot of power off of it too, but we could potentially get that elsewhere by swapping out some other gear. So 358 might and minus 120 speed. I should start looking at some other cloaks as well for that character.
I can't carry anymore.
We do lose a lot of power with something like that. This is interesting.
Sorry.
My pack's full.
So this is fairly good. I should probably upgrade this. Are cloaks neutral? I think cloaks are probably neutral, right? Yeah, cloaks are neutral. So this could have... I could get a lot higher than it is right now. Like, can I upgrade this with this? I cannot. Where's the 60s? Am I running low on the 60s? I might be running low on 60s. We also have the cycle of life to consider equipping on someone. Let's see. What were we trying to equip? What were we looking at? Not this. Was it this cloak? These gauntlets could be valuable to somebody. Because one thing that I could do for some of these characters is I could do temporary stuff. Ah, yes, I was looking at upgrading one of the items that was already equipped, right? A cloak that was equipped, yes. Okay, so we're looking for something that gives plus 60. That's these. So let's start pumping crafting ambers into this. And this is going to give endurance and speed to the character who needs the most durability. Because the goal for this character is to get to the point where they are simply not going to die. This is... This is a character of critical importance. Because if they go down, to a degree, the entire party goes down. Especially with fly being a thing. While we're not in dungeons, the fact that this is the character that's maintaining the fly spell is extremely important. So, yeah, let's... I'm actually going to I'm going to use the crafting rubies, even though they're fairly rare, because of the fact that I can get things pretty high with these legendaries. We can basically just stockpile as many stats as possible onto this cloak. And sunstone. Okay. Am I going to use something higher than a sunstone? Because I probably have more of these emeralds. No, I don't think so. So we're now up to 27,373. And we need to not worry about that kind of stuff. Do we need to worry about boosting the stats of our leather? I don't have a ton of leather skill. So I don't think that I need to worry about boosting the base armor on this equipment. I think it's not that relevant. But the personality and the endurance, I might as well just boost those up, right? The personality isn't quite as relevant, but it will become more relevant if I transition into a more... like healing focused build. So we need the 60s. If we can find them. We have the 120s as well. Oh, we have up to we have a 150 crafting diamond. Ooh, shit. Well, that gives us an idea of how high this is going to scale, at least. And don't I have a lot of 75s, but not a lot of 60s. I could just use the 75s instead. I think that they do give more per click, but I think that it's less efficient than using the appropriate type. I could also upgrade my amethysts into the 60s. So that is a thing that I have on the table. I just prefer not to because, again, like you're losing efficiency by doing those conversions, whether you're using a high level thing for a low level item or turning 3 low level things into a higher level thing. The lower level things might not be as important generally, but they're still quite useful to have. There we go. Because a lot of the times we're upgrading an item that has really quite low stats all the way to a very high value. Like this leather is something that started very, very low, and we were dangerously close to clicking on the fourth inventory there. So we've used all of the crafting amber that we can use on this. Let's go. Now we're going to use the 75s. We have a ton of them. Looks like we need even more than we have in that inventory. Okay, never mind. We needed exactly the number that we had in this. So we're going to do the 90s. And we're basically just prepping for how we're going to handle the dragon area. And we could, if we wanted, pump the item level of this, but I don't think that it's worth doing right now. So we're now up to 29. So we've gotten about a 20% increase to our overall durability just by upgrading a couple of these items a little bit higher. This has a bunch of speed on it. I'm not sure if that's the speed, if that's the stat that I even really want for this character. But at some point, this is a nice item, except for the fact that it doesn't. It's a crown, which I do not like. This is a mercenary belt. There's no way this is the highest tier belt. There's no shot this is the highest tier belt. Let's upgrade this because a little bit of AC can go a long way. And I have a suspicion, if I'm going to copy an item, probably the next item that I'm going to be copying would be this one, right? Like, this is, like, completely critical to, like, my late game itemization strategy, is using the fact that we've got a bunch of these. In addition, I don't think that most of my belts are really that crazy. Like, this is a good item, right? With that Arms Master, like the Titan's belt is not bad, but if we give this like 300 speed is better than 342 might and minus 119 speed. So if we just upgrade the shit out of this, we should be able to get some very good bonuses. We do have more armor on the Titan build as well, but either way, this is definitely the item to copy next, just by virtue of the fact that we need more. We need to have the resistance bonus on every character at some point, and the belt is a very good item to put it on. The other thing that I need is I need a hardened item potion, and that's with a yellow to this.
Great, now we can use it.
And that's done. We don't have this hardened either. There's actually not that many enemies that are hitting us with, like, item break. Like, there's a surprisingly small amount of that. Which, I don't know, it's a bit surprising to me. So, do we upgrade this item right now? Or do we have other items that are of higher priority? Belt is probably higher priority than most things. This is a legendary. It's legendary plate. It's the highest tier of plate that it's going to get. Gives a boost to all resists. It would be very nice. I can't. Can I? No. It'd be very nice to have more AC on this. I'm wondering if I should use some cubes on this. It would give me bonus resist. Let's use one cube. We're at 26,223. So that gives us about 400 for one click, which is not bad. It's not bad, but it's not, I don't think, enough to justify using that kind of a item on it. We could keep pumping this ring. I don't think I want to pump my rings and stuff like that right now. This cloak is pretty well stocked. We've got a bunch of luck and speed already on this. So this one's, like, this low-hanging fruit is not that low-hanging. We have... This should be hard. I definitely need to harden the...
Great, now we can use it.
the armor that I have on my my chest armor.
Great, now we can use it.
It's what yellow. Okay.
Perfect mix.
Chest armor needs to be hardened because it immediately goes away if I get knocked unconscious. Do the same thing for you, and it's not the biggest deal in the world. That's the wrong character. Whoops. Well, we just wasted some ingredients.
Great.
I normally reload for that. I'm not going to reload for that. I deserve that. And we have enough ingredients in our inventory. Saving under danger again. We've hardened this. This also needs to be hardened. Start character.
Perfect mix. Great, now we can use it.
Okay, so get this hardened. We should probably harden all of our weapons and stuff like that too. So we're gonna
Great, now we can use it.
start
Perfect mix.
doing that for everything. This is not hardened. Okay. So this is now hardened. This is now hardened. This is not. This is. This is not. This is also not. We don't have either of our weapons hardened. This is hardened. This is not hardened. So we have quite a few that we could benefit from getting.
Great,
Let's at the very least
Great,
do
perfect mix.
a
Perfect mix.
an effect on this. Kind of, you know, a little bit important to have the legendary sword.
All repaired.
What do you mean all repaired? How did it break? Did my gear break because of the what? Did blowing up a potion in my face break some of my gear? What happened? All right. Well, at any rate, we've got the cloak built up quite a bit. Are we boosting this royal leather some more? Is that how we're going to handle this? What were we using on it just now? Not this. Were we using the reds? Okay, we finished the reds. Do we want to start using sunstones on this? Honestly, yeah, why not? We're not going to get better like value, I don't think, than just pumping a chess piece for the most part. Let's sunstone. So let's do this. Alright, so we've now got 189 personality and endurance on this. Let's take a look at our stats. We're now over 30k vitality on this character. They have 6,900 HB. Do I want to pump this belt? Sure. Why not? Let's do it. So, can a 60 get the job done? 60 with 20%, 20% of the 1/5 of it, so it's like 71 or something like that. I'm not going to worry about it. It shouldn't be that big of a difference. We're just going to use these because they're easy and available. And we are pumping the crap out of Kortal's gear. So, Kortal now has a listed DPS higher than Severia's, which is a little alarming. And we could boost that substantially by getting another proper weapon. Why is our DPS listed as being so high? It's not like we have that much in terms of DPS gear. I guess just dual wielding axes does a lot of work for you. Dual wielding two-handers is a lot of DPS, shockingly. Let's see. We still have Poseidon in our inventory. We still have the Crown of Final Dominion. Don't think we need the Crown of Final Dominion. I can't just...
It won't fit.
Blade of Mercy.
No space. There's no room.
Sorry.
Well, we've cleared through a good portion of our inventory, and we've made some slight adjustments to our overall power level. I'm going to go ahead and load tests, because I'm kind of curious what... So we've taken this from a pretty high value to a substantially higher value, and vitality has actually increased from 24 to 30, so that's about a 25% increase in vitality on the character whose vitality is honestly the most important for reasons that are obvious. We have 66,600 vitality. We have 26,666 vitality. I'm noticing a pattern. Can we get Ashcore 50 more vitality? Just 50 more vitality on Ash. Let's see here. We don't need to do anything with Herrick's leather. We don't need to do anything with these boots. We have this that is pretty solid. It's got a very good base level. Oh, we have Hera equipped? Interesting. That's a surprising. thing to have equipped. Okay, so we've now equipped Hera over here instead. This gives us a bunch more HP. It does reduce our healing throughput a bit. Yeah, Hera was my neck was so bad on this character that I was equipping Hera on a character that doesn't benefit from getting extra spell points. Just kind of an odd, little bit of an odd choice, but that's fine. This gives us a little bit of a loss in power. It does set us up for the future in a way that I am kind of fond of, because it does give us earth resistance, which currently doesn't matter that much, but will eventually become a very important component of our build. So I think we are going to equip this for right now over this one. You would benefit dramatically from just equipping this, because you benefit very strongly from armor compared to Korrick. Armor doesn't give nearly as big of a bonus because of the way that leather works. So this would give us a fairly sizable boost to both types, but it also means that Armsmaster is an available slot again. We can put an Armsmaster piece onto you if we want. Aside from the gauntlet, the gauntlets stack with other pieces of Armsmaster gear. So, what else do we have to do for you? Let's see, this gives water resistance, boosts all stats. So this is kind of generically weaker than what I've got. This is generically stronger than what I've got. This is weaker, but it gives us other benefits. Let's look into replacing this piece. We do this, we have slightly improved power, slightly reduced vitality. I'm not sure that's something that I want to approach right now. I am really tempted to just start using crafting gems on this thing, just because it's such an old item that I'm still using. But we just don't have that many crafting, though. It has personality and endurance. These are both good stats for me to have. But do I have enough slots to justify? You know what? Are we gonna do it? No. No, we're not, because we're gonna. I could be using the crafting cubes on the plate armor, which is just like an explicitly better usage of my time. So. No, we're not going to do the very silly thing. We could upgrade our weapon here. So let's go ahead and do that. This weapon should be kept up to date. This weapon is currently up to date. This is not, but it's also not legendary. Okay. So we have 193 eligible. Do I want to start pumping my belt? Yes. We're going to keep pumping this belt. I like speed. And that will be useful. So do we do all the way to the 105s is the better question. You know what? I'm going to do it. We're going to go just kind of ham on the gear that we have on this character, because of the fact that this belt, I feel like we're going to be able to copy eventually. So if we're copying this belt eventually and just getting a shit ton of speed on it, I think that's just a huge overall boost for our party. So we might as well do it now rather than wait until we're actually doing the copying. So we've now got 252 speed on this belt, which is pretty solid. We've got the ability to do more, but I think that is a bridge too far. I think that might be silly. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. We're gonna keep stacking it. I don't give a shit. The other thing that I have stated that is a concern for me is that this character right now has a itemization deficit in terms of how many things that they can equip. But they're able to make usage of all the slots relatively effectively. They have the ability to stack stats. We have two-handed weapons, so we have the ability to have pretty high stats on those weapons. Partially makes up for the fact that we don't have the boots, we don't have the helmet, right? The issue is that once I start getting things that boost my once I start getting the artifacts that boost all of the elemental effects and all of the self magics, those artifacts are going to permanently take up a couple of slots that give 0 stats. So this character needs to have an excessive amount of stats on their other slots to make up for the fact that they are going to be down a lot of slots by the time we're done. By the time we're done with this character's build, they're not going to have boots. They're not going to have a helmet. They're going to have a ring slot that's dedicated exclusively to boosting self-magic. I think they're going to have a necklace slot devoted exclusively to elemental magic. And they're going to have probably 1 to 2, not slots on gear, but slots on items for body, potentially for spirit, and potentially for other elemental effects, depending on whether it seems useful to do so, to get the boost, getting the 3 points per skill, rather than the 2 that I would be getting out of Day of the Gods, right? So at a certain point, this character is going to be the one that I want to be providing the Day of the Gods style effect, because their Day of the Gods is about 50% more effective. But the key there is that because I don't have the artifacts that I need to make that work, and they need to be equipped permanently, it's not a thing that I'm doing right now. But it does mean that there's the potential that I'm okay, I'm sacrificing even more stats on this character, where instead of having of the gods, I have of spirit magic. Instead of the gods, so I'm getting plus 40 doll stats, because this is projected into the future at some point. We're getting, plus 20 mind magic or air magic or what have you. And all of those slots that are being filled, even though they're not full gear slots, they're just one slot on a piece of gear, are then stacked with the lack of a helmet, lack of boots, the artifacts that need to be used to give me the plus 50%, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be very powerful, but it's also going to make this character lose a lot of durability, lose a lot of their own personal damage for the benefit of the party as a whole. So, but it is very funny how crazy their damage has gotten. And I'm not entirely sure where it's all coming from. But that's fine. Let's see here. So you're doing fine. We've boosted Cortal by quite a bit. Let's see. Silria is going to need to be getting some significant upgrades some point in the near future. Cortal really... Or not Cortal. Cordric really needs some work. this is really not a very good piece of gear that we've got equipped. I'm hoping that we'll eventually be able to either copy this, which is solid and we can replace the personality with something else, or just get another legendary chest. Like one of the two. It doesn't really matter which. We can't eliminate the recovery penalty for chain, so we're not equipping chain. That's a given. I could also... One thing that I could do, if I wanted, and I don't think that I want to, but I could actually pump shield and swap to like spear and shield for this character, or I could go to shield with this character, but that's going to require that I find a new legendary. We'll have to see. If she had found a one-handed legendary, we would definitely be sitting on a lot of shield skill, though this character can't get Grandmaster shield, so that definitely weakens that as an overall strategy. So you have cover enabled, you have cover enabled, you currently have cover enabled. And should you have cover enabled? I don't think it makes any sense for this character to have cover enabled. We're disabling cover on you. Korgrik is taking way too much damage to justify it. So HP bonus reminds minus 61. Do you have anything that drops your HP? You have a cursed item? Eh? You don't have a relic, do you? Why is your HP bonus from items negative? Huh. I don't know what's going on with this character. This character has a negative HP bonus from items, but doesn't have any relics or anything that would be reducing the HP. I wonder why. It's not a huge deal. So this gives body resistance and death and eradication immunity. Those are important effects because we don't have immunity to all status effects on you, right? So we're going to need another immunity to status effects item before we can actually copy one of these, I think. So, oh, but this is also a belt. Ooh, that's rough. We're going to have to decide between these two. Ooh, because they're both on the same slot. Well, that's trouble. But that's trouble that I don't need to worry about right now. So, Korgrik's going to get a pretty hefty boost to durability the second we get a resistance equalizing item on them. They already have 87% earth resistance, so we're going to bring our energy resistance from 79 to 87. Unfortunately, that's going to probably happen after we finish clearing out every dragon, which means that we're not going to get it for the gold dragons that we're about to fight, but that's fine. We also will be flying for those, so we'll be able to dodge their attacks and do similar shenanigans like that. So that's useful. What else do we want to do? We've got some of these things upgraded. Do we have any more legendaries on you that need upgrading? I have pretty decent stats on this. We have pretty decent stats on this. So I think we're probably done with Kortal for now. Kortal is doing pretty well. We have 3 legendary belts. I'm just realizing how crazy our belt game is right now. Okay. we're not going to upgrade that belt right now. Do I want to purge off this armor class and replace it with something else? What we do want to do, regardless, this is a AC bearing item. We're going to use our ascension crystals. Do we have enough ascension crystals to justify? Yes, yes we do.
Carry any more.
So we're going to upgrade this. I don't know how many tiers there are. There might be like 2 more tiers after this. I'm not sure if this is necessarily the best usage of resources, but we are upgrading the AC value on an item that is on a plate user, which is a fairly beneficial thing. So I think that actually is a pretty substantial increase to vitality, just boosting the base AC on these gauntlets. So, do I want to continue pumping the other things? Let's take a look at our crafting things. So gloves have a higher value. They can be raised to... Do I want to purge that AC? This is a really critical item. It's really important as an item. And it's a DPS item that we could add to you as well. I think we're gonna do it. We're gonna use one of the things to. Do we have enough of those? I don't know if I can justify this or not. We're gonna see how many more items I have to purge an effect off, because I'd really like to start upgrading those gauntlets, but I also don't really need that flat AC increase all that much. So I have at least one. If I only have one, I don't think I'm going to use it for this. Because I might literally just pick up a legendary that is like critically important in terms of slot and has a bad affix that I need to replace. Whereas the AC isn't something that needs to be replaced, it's fine. But if I get like a legendary like this, and the third affix on it is like plus alchemy or something, I'm gonna need to purge that off. Okay. What else is on our agenda? I could upgrade some of this stuff. I don't think I need to. It's a little bit tempting to try to pump them, but that's fine. All statistics plus resistances. Oh, this is also a legendary that we can probably get at least some boosts into. It's also a very good legendary effect, and it has a really solid thinger. So this is also a thing that we might want to copy eventually, if we just start getting a bunch of the copy items, which we probably never will, but if we get enough, it's not a bad target. So it looks like we will have to use crafting rubies for this. So each of these is giving me not very much, honestly. Is that because that's the maximum? Or is that because it's just a ring? Let's find out. Yeah, that's because that's the maximum it can go to. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and use some of these crafting sunstones. That's fine. it is important that we get everybody in a good place in terms of both their offensive and defensive capabilities. And we're starting to get there. It might seem slow, but we are slowly but surely getting there. And I say it might seem slow. It might honestly not seem slow to an external observer. It feels kind of slow to me. To an external observer, it might be like, well, I mean, you can beat the shit out of Titans, right? But the thing that I'm concerned about is not the Titans that I'm fighting now. It's the Titans I'm fighting in the next area. And not even that, I'm more concerned about the dragons, because I'm going to start fighting dragons pretty early. I'm fighting them in the first area. And other miscellaneous high-level enemies that I won't have time to catch up to. So we'll just have to see how things go. But either way, we have made sizable progress here. Do we want to take a look at our... Let's see. My brain broke temporarily. I could record down all of these values, and we could just check, like do a reference to check. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's go with Varia 1248 and 68561. Quartal Silveria efficient. Okay, so 13311 and 5258. Then 7699 and 26666. You are 149, the 10.